What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. In this video, we are looking at the NBA slate for tonight. 3 games on this Thursday night. Let's go ahead and get into it. As always, if you enjoy the videos, appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Good day yesterday. Jokic was a great pay-up. DeRozan and Dosunmu were disappointing, but we got some other good value with like Kobe White and Connaughton to get us there. And on Prize Picks, went 4-1, so it was a solid day. On Prize Picks, could have had a 5-0 sweep except for Vooch missed by half a point. We'll have another video out for Prize Picks after this. Check it out if you want to. Let's get started with the point guard picks tonight. We have Luka Doncic, 11,000. He's looking awesome. Looking very dangerous. He only played 32 minutes last game. They won by 25, and they were up by so much in like the second half of the game. He could have played like 4 or 5 more minutes depending on how close of a game it was. And now they're going into Utah, so a better chance that the game does stay closer. He has crushed Utah all season, averaging 31 points against them. I'm going to look to pay up for Luka. Hope that it's a closer game and that he gets to like 37 to 38 minutes. Chris Paul's also right there at 93 on the road against the Pelicans, looking to close out that series. It's a chance Booker plays. I'm not sure. They said he's going to like initially be listed as out, and then they'll see. I don't think he'll play, but probably want to save him if this game does get to a Game 7. Next up, we have James Harden at 91. He's been awful this series, shooting the ball, not there, not taking a lot of shots, not being aggressive. They need him to step up, especially with Embiid, once again dealing with another injury with his torn ligament. I'd rather get down to like CJ McCollum. Bad shooting night from him. Played 40 minutes, 7 of 22. He's not going to cut it. The price tag is reasonable, though, at 86. And then Van Fleet is doubtful. If he's out, then we're looking at Scotty Barnes, Siakam, all those guys. Achua, they all look appealing. Going further down here, we have Clarkson at 58, who's been playing recently, and he has been coming through. He was like the only Jazz player that produced well last game, put up 33 fantasy points, shot the ball pretty well. Value at the point guard position, looking at like Alvarado at 34. He played about 20 minutes last game, played pretty well. He's there for his defense, can hit some open shots as well. And 34 is pretty cheap for a guy that will play around 20 minutes or so, and has been getting more minutes as the series has gone on. Over at shooting guard, looking to pay up for Brandon Ingram today. He's only 400 more than CJ McCollum. He's at home. He's done a lot of damage at home in this series, scoring 64 total points in the 2 home games that they've had, and he shot the ball really well in those games. Expect him to be really aggressive in a must-win game. Look to get over 40 minutes at least from Ingram, and he's still a guy that can contribute with the rebounds, the assist, and get to the free throw line a little bit as well. Hopefully, he can hit more than 63% of his free throws on the season. He's shooting about 82%, so that is a good chance that that does happen. Other options at shooting guard would be Donovan Mitchell at 88. Going back home, need to win this game. He's been struggling really badly this series, not hitting his shots at all. He's been like, in his last 3 games, that makes him 3 for 25 from 3-point land, which is 12%. So he needs to step up and play well. I'd rather get to McCollum over Mitchell. And then you have these guys in the value range with the Toronto pieces. Anunoby 66, Gary Trent 65, like both of them. But I probably like Scotty Barnes the most, followed by Trent and Anunoby. Other options would be like Clarkson at 58. And then you could go down to like maybe take a shot on Reggie Bullock at 5K, but that's something that's kind of priced up for me. Small forward, plug in Scotty Barnes here. You also have Bridges, who had a great game. He'll probably be popular today. Everybody's chasing his last performance. I might get to like another Phoenix guy instead with like Cam Johnson. But starting with Scotty Barnes, he's only $6,200. He played 40 minutes, so a big jump in his minutes. Looks to be still probably not 100%, but he's gutting it out and playing through any sort of pain. 34 fantasy points for him last game. He is a guy that will contribute with points, rebounds, assists, and steals as well at times, especially if he's going to play 40 minutes, just run into some peripheral stats. Then I like Cam Johnson at only 49. He played 36 minutes last game, got you 9 rebounds, some assists as well. He hasn't been super aggressive with the shot yet, but if he does start out the game hot, you could easily have a game like Bridges where he puts up 4 threes and hits like 60-70% of his shots. We've seen him do that, and he is a great shooter in general. Over to power forward, Siakam at 92 at home is going to be a pretty interesting case, especially if there is no Van Fleet, like, don't expect, but you never know with Nick Nurse. He could easily be upgraded to questionable or probable, before this game tips off. Don't mind getting to Tobias at 7K either, just with them playing in Toronto, so no Matisse Thybulle. Value, looking at maybe Crowder at 47, but I like Cam Johnson for a couple hundred more. And that's kind of it. You can take a shot on like Larry Nance for the 20 minutes that he plays or so. Over at center, you have Embiid at 10-4, dealing with that thumb issue. Hasn't looked himself recently, especially on the defensive end. He's like scared that it will get hit, and his shot volume has come down, and his efficiency has gone down a little bit. But you think he's still a little bit tough to play at this price tag. I'd rather get up to Luka for 600 more, get down a little bit to Siakam at home. But one of my favorites is going to be Precious Achiuwa. $4,600. They start Khem Birch, but he doesn't play very many minutes. They give a lot of minutes to Achiuwa off the bench, and definitely can close in this sort of situation. He blew by Embiid a couple times last game, and this price tag really reasonable for a guy that gives you 30-point upside and has shown that 2 out of the last 3 games. So this leaves us with almost like 5K left. I'll throw in a sixer here, and that's going to be Danny Green, just to get a value piece here at $4,400. Leaves us with about 5K left for the last couple of spots. But no Thybulle, so Green will potentially get up to like 30-plus minutes depending on how well he's playing. We saw him get up to 38 in one game, and then he played 41 in regulation in another previous game in Toronto. So as long as he's still shooting the ball well, like he has been, hitting his threes, and one of the only Sixers that has been at least consistent with his outside shot, looks pretty solid at this price tag. And that's about it for the DraftKings side. Let's go ahead and take a look at FanDuel. All right, over on FanDuel point guard picks, you only have an $800 difference between Luka and Chris Paul. So now DraftKings a little bit closer. You can make a case for Chris Paul to get to both if you wanted to, but on FanDuel, if I just had to pick one, it would be Luka. Other option would be McCollum and Donovan Mitchell. And then value, maybe look to Clarkson. You have a good price tag on Dinwiddie, but his minutes have come down with Doncic back. So I probably like Maxey the most because he's still going to get you like 40 minutes or so. And then you can maybe look to Alvarado at the bottom. Over at shooting guard, like McCollum at 86, go down a little bit. They priced up Trent to 68. They priced up Bridges up to 67. Not getting great price tags on those guys. I don't mind taking a shot on Danny Green on both sides once again. There's not too many great options at shooting guard with the price increases. So at the top end, probably look to like McCollum as one of my favorites. Over at small forward, still want to get to Brandon Ingram on both sides. 9K is not that big of a deal. Like him more than Harden and more than Tobias, obviously. Big difference for Tobias, $1,500, but I probably like him on DraftKings for $500 less. You have some other guys that I look to, like the Toronto pieces. Scotty Barnes only 65, Anunoby only 6,000, and then I like Cam Johnson at 49 on both sides. And that's kind of it. You can take a shot on Nance or Royce O'Neal if you play a lot of teams. Power forward Embiid is 10K, Siakam 92. Don't mind getting to Siakam, but I would probably get to these Toronto pieces first, like Barnes, Anunoby. These other Toronto pieces, Barnes, Anunoby, just based on their savings. Cam Johnson has the value. Herb Jones at only 47, playing 40 minutes as a decent option. And then Achiuwa for sure at center looks good, or power forward. On to center, like Valanciunas and 8 and a bit at their price tags. But I don't mind going all the way down to Achiuwa. I'm paying up for point guards, paying up for like Ingram, Doncic, maybe throwing in McCollum if you can. But that's about it for the FanDuel pieces. So stay tuned for the prize picks video if you're going to be playing that. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. Best of luck, and I'll see you all next time.